kind of music is this? This is weird. This is the free music that YouTube has. I just kind of was playing it to be funny. How do you like that so far? Let's hear some more free YouTube music to get the night going. All trash music, not as good as DJ Assault. What trash music is that? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Conspiracy Castle. I'm your Conspiracy Asshole. And this is the Saturday night after show. Let's go. My God, I got to get my tie right. Sorry, I've been wearing this for a few hours now. Yeah, I know. DJ Assault. Let me go back to DJ Assault. I mean, it's funny because I just clicked that because I was looking for something, royalty-free music for something else.
This is for the people who like to
It's not as good as this.
I'm giving you something to shake your ass to.
Let's go, baby.
AKA Craig Diamond.
Let's go, Craig Diamonds.
Let's get this shit cracking.
Now which one of y'all hoes ready to clown with a nigga?
Dab, dab,
Put it down like Trey and Eminem.
dab.
I'm giving them game
It's prime time. Let's go. Let's go. Order red.
It really don't matter at all. DJ Assault, aka Craig Diamonds, y'all. So what you saying? We gon' get naughty, y'all. Ready to party with the girls with naked bodies, y'all. Okay. So
let's go.
At the clubs when the cops yell freeze.
Now this is the intro we need.
This is what I'm giving you over this instrumental.
Something to shake that ass to.
Something to make that cash to. Something to shake your ass to. Something to make that cash. What I'm giving them. Something to shake your ass to. Something to make that cash to. Something to shake your ass to. Something to make that cash. Came in the club like
dun dun dun.
I stole J shit. Oh well, man. I hope he don't resent it. Cause this is for them nasty hoes doing them nasty shows, diked out with them dildos. I guess they got skill though. For real though, chill though. You damn nympho. But she'll do that to do. Everybody
Sky Bear's right here.
With a body like a goddess, she takes the cake. The bitch is thicker than a motherfucking milkshake. So shake that ass and titties too. Notice I'm running game and not tipping.
Alright, let's go, baby.
You're making money off of buses straight up mark.
Man, we're on the grind all the time. Let's go, baby. One more time, actually.
Shake your ass to something to make that cash to something to shake your ass to something to make that cash. What I'm giving them something to shake your ass to something to make that cash to something to shake.
Now we're going, we're rolling. Let's go. Let's go, Saturday night.
Watch yourself, you're 20, you look 30, cause you're living too fast. You really need to slow it down, girl. I know you in and out of town, girl. Detroit there. You really looking like a clown, girl. You ain't down, girl. You gon' fall, girl. Fucking call, girl. I'ma call you a bitch and a hoe to the third power. Now hit the shower. They do it all for the dough. You out your mind, baby, you blind.
1 more minute left, why not?
The song gon' rewind till it sinks in. And close your legs, something to sink in. Nickname Cicely, her ass is ill. She probably hotter than a
George Foreman grill.
But that's neither here nor there. Let me tell you what I'm giving you
everywhere. Something to shake your ass to. Something to make that cash to. Something to make that cash. Something to shake that ass to. Something to make that cash to.
To shake your ass to. Something to make that cash. What I'm giving them. The 24-hour party and shit don't stop.
What I'm giving them.
Something to shake your ass to all night long.
What I'm giving them.
DJ Assault on them badass beats. What I'm giving them. Jefferson Ave, keep the party hype forever. Something to shake your ass to. Something to make that cash to. Something to shake your ass to. Something to make that cash to. Something to shake your ass to. Something to make that cash to. Something to shake your ass to. Something to make that cash to.
Now that's what I'm talking about. All right, well, now that's an intro for the Conspiracy Castle. I'm your Conspiracy Castle. Planet Fatness. I do look tired. I am kind of tired. After doing that debate, I'm a little tired. I had a busy day as well. Woke up, went to the spin studio, had to clean the house, do stuff with the cats. Then I went and walked 6 miles. Didn't stream from that. Then I went straight into the debate. Now I'm here, and I didn't have a nap or anything. Sometimes I take a nap, not every time, but a lot of times, like when I have a late night stream, sometimes I'll nap during the day. That's not every day, but usually, sometimes on the weekends I take a nap in the afternoon, especially. But if I'm not doing anything, so I didn't get to do that today, and so I am a little tired. I'm on the grind all the time, guys. I'm Primetime 99 Alex Stein. I think I got a burst blood vessel in my eye, and I am a little tired because I have been lacking at the. And I got something on my tooth. I'll be honest, because what I like to do is I call my certain days, I call hat tricks. Those are the days where I spin. I do a spin exercise, or at least I do one workout, like at a trainer, a class, fitness class. Then I walk 6 miles, and I do a stream. That's my new thing. So today's one of those days. So you're getting me after the hat trick, as I call it. You're getting me. This is an after show of that last show. So if I am tired, I seem tired. That's correct. That's a correct assumption. You are a skeptic and a truther. You have good discernment. And I had to say, I got a little caffeinated beverage, and I'm going to open up the phone lines here in a second. We'll talk for a few minutes, and I'll open up the phone lines. We'll take some calls. We'll see what you guys thought about the debate. I guess I could have done it right after, and then I could be asleep now. But I figured, come on, let's get on. I needed to eat something. I was pretty hungry. And I'm drinking this terrible aspartame soda. I'm going to quit drinking diet soda. Just wait. I know right now I say that as I chug it. I'm going to quit. I'm like an addict with a crack pipe. I promise I'm going to quit. I promise I'm going to quit you diet Dr. Pepper. It just tastes so good. That aspartame just rotting my brain feels so good. It's like the toxoplasmosis inside my body. It's convinced me that it's okay. And I got something in my teeth right there too. Probably should have brushed my teeth again after eating. This is terrible. What did I have to eat? You're going to be discussing what I had. I had 2 vegan corn dogs. That's it. The vegan microwave corn dogs. Because I was in a hurry. That's disgusting. I'm still hungry. And I had some broccoli rice casserole that I had left over that I heated up a little bit of too. So I know, isn't that crazy? Broccoli and rice and cheese casserole, cashew cheese. It's okay. Nothing to write home about. But it's good. It's good for my digestion. I like the way it makes you feel, actually. But yes, I am a little tired. Maybe, I need to get my B12. That's actually what they say is lacking when you don't eat meat. So probably need to take a little bit of B12, but we're going to open up the phone lines. We've had a long night. Now that people are calling me out, I'm not self-conscious, but it's like, well, dang, dude, maybe I do need to get some rest. Maybe I got to recharge this battery every once in a while. When y'all grind it and shine it the way the 99 grinds and shines, it ain't easy being this greasy because I'm putting off a lot of electricity, my guy. So, you know what I mean? It takes a lot out of you. It's like a cell phone. It can only take so many charges back and forth, from full power to low power. I mean, I'm Primetime 99 Alex Stein. I'm not invincible. I know I seem invincible to you, to the layman. You'd look at me and say, oh, of course that guy's invincible. He's a stud. He's one of the most beautiful guys in the world. I get why you'd think that, but I'll be honest, I'm mortal. I know. This is hard for you guys to believe. I'm a mortal being, and I'm a normal person. I know that I have this bravado and this ego and this way about me that gives me, this arrogance or air of superiority. But really, I'm Primetime 99 Alex Stein. You know what I mean? But I'm still just the same as you. Do I grind and shine at a higher level than most people? Yeah, that's fair. But at the end of the day, I put on my panties one thong, one butt cheek at a time, just like you. When you put on your thong, I put on my thong the same exact way, right between my butt cheeks. So we're no different. You know what I mean? Except I wear 2 thongs because I don't want to get an STD, and you should wear 2 masks if you don't want to get the roan dog. But I am a little tired. So people calling me out. That's totally okay. I listened to some Mike Francesa today. It's awesome, actually. I can't tell you how much I really enjoy having this show and you guys give me the opportunity to come talk to you tonight because now when I look at like radio broadcasters and I listen to other people on the radio, I can actually study them and think like, oh, I can be like this guy. I'm going to be like this guy. And a guy really like Mike Francesa. Now he's a nut job. We don't need to get on the Twitter and go through all that. Well, actually, here, let's look at Twitter. Oh, I don't want to look at Twitter because that nudity thing. Let me just open up the phone lines. Let's get some calls in, and then we're gonna go to bed here about an hour and a half. So let me make sure everything's going. How was that burp? Was that burp in high quality HD sound, clear, in the SM7B studio quality microphone? Okay, what am I doing? What am I going? What am I doing? What am I doing? More. All right. I'm going to go more. Invite. Wow. I am tired. I'm looking at this like, ooh, I'm kind of like, yeah, your thong has pockets. That looks cool. Well, that's a good idea. You know, you can put your chains in there or whatever. Man, nothing. This one website just stopped working. Okay, here is the show. All right. Well, I just posted that now through the restream. Now let me go to the mother trucking switch account. Thank you. Looks we might have got a sub or two. I don't know if that's true, but it'd be cool. We did. It looks like we got 2 subs because 2 people. It looks like we got 2 subs. At least 2 people left comments. That's cool. Okay, let me go to the chat. Sorry, I am a little tired, guys. Something to shake that ass to has been. Okay. There we go. If you guys want to come on the show. Thank you, Jay, while I'm saying I look good. I appreciate that. You know, wow. Sagacious Bear. Who is this? Sagacious Bear. I can't hear you. Hold on. Let me do. Are you there? Yo, Salacious Bear. I can't hear you, dude. I don't know if it's my audio. Let's see. Oh, shit. It might be my speaker. It's the wrong speaker. Hold on. It's because Sagacious Bear.
What's up?
Now we're good. Now the audio is good. Sorry for the people at home. That took a second to get it going on. What's happening, my man? How are you doing this evening?
Not much. I'm doing great, man. Just had to stop in the Conspiracy Castle, see how we were doing, what's popping, what's going on. I saw your live stand up the other night. That was some good stuff, man. That took some courage. I had to give you some props there.
Wow, dude, I really appreciate it. See, that's the good vibes. I didn't realize, like, I can't tell you when you do stuff like that and people come on and say nice stuff like that. I can't tell you how much it encourages me to want to do it again because it's a little cringe. You know, I go up there and I didn't prepare anything, but what I'm saying is the fact that people are giving me not good reviews, but I'm saying the fact that they're saying I have balls. So now I'm going to have more courage and I'll be able to. I'm gonna get better. So thank you for that, dude.
We definitely need more of that. Just coming on this, I mean, I just get a little nervous just coming on and talking to you. The other night, I got to talk to Dave for 2 hours on that little Zoom call. That was awesome.
That was I didn't watch it. Was it awesome? That was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cooler if more Globers showed up and asked more questions about. It just seemed like it was most of the people there were already kind of on board with Flat Earth and didn't really have anything to contribute, but.
Well, of course, because it's such a taboo subject. I mean, Dave is like, dude, a champion for Flat Earth. Like, nobody could be better for the movement. But at the same time, dude, if you're not motivated to look into this stuff, you're never going to look into Don Pettit. I think that's the level you have to get to. I'm serious, dude. That's the level that it takes. If you're willing to put in the effort to find out who Don Pettit is and you've watched enough footage to remember his name, then you're willing. But if you're not willing to put in that bit of requirement, then you're not going to understand it, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, Don Pettit, man, he's something else. I always try to gauge somebody off of if I had some kids and I needed someone to babysit my kids, would I let them babysit my kids? And I would never let Don Pettit babysit my kids. So.
No, and it's funny. I wouldn't let me babysit my kids, not because I don't know how. I'm saying that's the last thing. And this makes me such a pussy. But a lot of people like you got to run out to the country. Well, first of all, I can't run out to the country, and second of all, I don't have any kids, and I want to be like fruitful and multiply, or whatever. Dude, I'm scared to freaking death of having a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's just that. I don't know how to put it. That's just a responsibility. I want to do it one day. But if somebody told me I was pregnant right now, that'd be very hard. I mean, I wouldn't get an abortion, but it'd just be very stressful, I think.
Yes. Let's see.
Do you have any kids? Do you have any kids, Sagacious?
I don't know. I don't. I'm only 22. Let's see.
Oh, you're young as shit. I'm saying I'm 34, dude. All my friends have kids. And I want to have kids, but I'm behind. But you're 22. You'll probably get some girl pregnant next week, dude. Especially being a bear. I know. Do you meet any bear girls? Do you know any bear girls?
No, and you know what? I'm honestly not. I don't really follow much of Owen, but I've been. Let's see. It was about 2016 when I started following Jaren and all them. So I was in college when I figured everything out. To be honest with you, so I had to do like a little college project. I had to write an essay. It was like a research essay, and I ended up on YouTube and ended up going down some rabbit holes there, and it just kind of aligned with some spiritual stuff that was going on with me. It kind of blew my mind. So ever since then, I've been chugging along, lost all my friends. It's been pretty cool.
It sucks, doesn't it, losing your friends? I mean, they say you lose, but like there has to be one or two that you're still okay with that don't give a shit at the shape of the earth or whatever the fuck. There's none.
I mean, for the most part, I feel like we can separate that kind of shit, but it's always there. It's always a lingering thing. It's always kind of like that ego battle, that arrogance, that whenever something, like there's little cheap shots people try to make little like, I remember just a quick little example. One of my friend's girlfriends was like, do you think the moon is flat too? Like just a little dumb shit like that. Just kind of brings up in the middle of when all your friends are just chilling. Like, why'd you have to bring that up? Like, obviously it doesn't bother me to admit that I believe the things I believe, but there's just kind of a time and a place. Like, I don't know.
I agree, and it's sometimes it can be patronizing. They're patronizing you, or whatever. If you're really serious and want to talk about it, I'll talk to anybody about it. But like I said, it's a topic that you have to be willing to learn who Don Pettit is. So it's not for everybody. You like that one, but you're the bear. You keep the bear name, even though you don't listen to Owen as much anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Well, see, I listened to Owen when he was on YouTube, and then when he went off YouTube, it's kind of hard to find.
He's
him,
back. He tea with Gary and tea time. So have you been listening with that?
So it's pretty interesting. I got like 40 hours a week to listen to podcasts on my headset at work. So I'm listening to every one of your conspiracy casts. I'm listening to Jaren. I'm listening to Glowbusters, Crow, Roses, Poppycock Report. I'm listening to all of it. So.
Wow. So you like the audio only version. So that's good that I'm uploading there. You like that?
Well, no, I'm not. I listen to pretty much everything either on YouTube or D Live or let's see. I mean, obviously Crow's website. I subscribe to him. So let's see. I don't know. I'm patrons for a couple of you guys. I'm one of your patrons. I'm one of Dave's patrons, one of Jaren's patrons, and then ODD.
So you're a true badass. Okay, PTM. What's going on, PTM? How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's going on? No cam, PTM. I feel like you're being very clandestine. Is there anything we can help you with this evening? Is there anything you want to talk about this evening?
Yeah, actually there is, but the reason I don't have my cam on is because I have a job where I just can't be like my face or whatever.
I understand. We talk about stuff that is not politically correct. I get you. I got you.
Hey, I'm with you there, but I probably shouldn't be on here.
You'll be okay. You won't lose your job. Okay, let's get positive energy, no negative vibes. That's lame to say that, but let's actually try to keep our head in a positive state. Well, what's up, PTM? What's happening, my brother?
Nothing. I mean, I like your debate. I mean, I would say maybe we could talk about some things we disagree with because I do disagree with you on a few things, but
for sure. What do you got? Let's talk about it. What do you disagree with?
Well, I mean, I would say the intertwining of religion with conspiracies, that would be one of them that I would start with.
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, like, you were using numerology when talking about 9/11 and the stuff that happens in 9/11, which I think, you mentioned in there that there's some things that people say that's, I guess, stupid or whatever, that, about conspiracies that are really not, um, they don't make any sense. And I would consider numerology being one of those things. It's honestly strictly speculation.
Yeah, I agree. That's speculation, but I mean, it's over and over and over. And if you look at their literature, they talk about using these signs and symbology. Like they talk about the 33 in the in Aleister Crowley's Satanic Bible. I mean, they talk about all this stuff. So, I guess the signs and symbols, that is where you get into the woods, because there's stuff I don't agree with. Like there's like a guy like Gematria Affects Sports. And there's people that think that all these games are predicted and all the scores are done on purpose and that the refs and players are all in on it. So, dude, I get it. It gets in the woods, but there are weird numbers. Like, do you agree, or do you think it was an accident that they chose the number 9/11 for the day of the attack? Or do you think that was just
Well,
arbitrary?
see, I mean, personally, yeah, I think one of the most powerful answers to have, I guess this is a cliche, is to say I don't know. So I mean, like, I don't know if that was a coincidence or not. I mean, it's not my role to say that because I don't know.
What do you think about like just the basic, speaking of cliche, what do you think about like all the predictive programming, like the little Simpsons example where you've got, Bart with the $9 and then the two
11 cents.
towers
Or,
right
yeah, the
there.
two
Yeah,
towers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I would definitely say that. I mean, when you take the amalgamation of things and put them together, it definitely makes things sort of smelly, I would say. Yeah. Um, I mean, personally, I do not deny that 9/11 is an inside job. I definitely think that there is a lot of evidence pointing towards that. Smoke coming out of the side of the buildings um, when the tower was collapsing, and Building 7 definitely was like, I really don't understand how people don't look at that and are like, see that as being realistic. I mean, it's, you watch side by side demolitions, it looks exactly the same. So yeah, I would definitely agree with you on the topic though.
So, but you didn't like the mixture of the religion aspect and conspiracy? What is that? Elaborate. I'm
Yeah,
interested.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, uh, I mean, I don't really like the mixture of, and I'm not just saying that out of personal distaste, but I think it's really stigmatizing towards certain ideologies, whether it be, atheism, Christianity, and politics. Like, it seems like they go hand in hand. I mean, like 90% of the time when you meet somebody who's a capitalist, they're typically Christian, and 90% of the time when you meet somebody who's a socialist, they're typically an atheist. Which, I mean, I understand like the whole invisible hand thing with capitalism, but like, I mean, I think those two things should be separate and discussed separately. And when you start putting things like religion into, just that's strictly off of speculation, you don't know whether that whole Aleister Crowley thing is legitimate or not. It's just your speculation. I think it sort of polarizes people who do have the atheist position not to believe in the things that you say.
Well, Aleister Crowley's real. I mean, that you can buy an Aleister Crowley book. I mean, unless he was like a figment of our imagination, like he wasn't a real person. But there are books that he supposedly wrote that talk about numbers and signs and symbology. I mean, that I don't is not a conspiracy. And there's a matter of fact, like he's so accepted in the mainstream. You can look at people winning awards and thanking Aleister Crowley. So it's not like that's some I don't think in the Hollywood circles, Aleister Crowley's that taboo. But what I'm trying to say, what I'm thinking you're getting, do you not like it because when you blame Israel, it sounds anti-Semitic to say Israel
No,
did 9/11? Not that.
no, no. I don't care about that.
Well, then I'm confused why the religion mixed with it. Because I mean, I'm just saying. I think what happens is I have no doubt in the Creator, but I think religions are inherently pretty bad. Organized religions. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like once they get organized and then they start, having an agenda, it's just very corruptible. And so I think everybody's personal journey with the Creator is, like I just said, very personal. And whatever doctrine you want to use to get connected to Him. I don't know. I'm kind of anti-religion, to be quite honest. So that's maybe why you don't like the way I talk about it. Maybe.
So when you say religion, you're referring to the church.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think you necessarily need to go to church to be connected to God. I don't think you need to go to church at all to have a connection with God.
Yeah.
Okay. What makes you believe in God in the first place?
Well, because I don't believe that we evolved from pond scum. The idea of evolution is absolutely absurd to me.
That's a misrepresenting position, though. You're misrepresenting evolution by saying that.
Well, what do you mean? I mean, I'm misrepresenting evolution to say. I mean, then what is evolution? Do we not evolve from nothing?
Well, I mean, that's abiogenesis is a very complicated subject. I mean, saying
And
it
it's
evolves from pond scum
we
is
can't recreate abiogenesis in a lab. We can't make two cells split on its own and create everything. I mean, that's
we
impossible.
create the Big Bang in the lab.
No, but we can't create abiogenesis, and we have all the technology in the world supposedly today. So if we can't create the one thing that created all life, like it just is impossible. Well, are you pro evolution? Do you think we evolved from monkeys?
I'm not pro evolution. I'm pro monkey. Sorry, I misspoke. I'm not pro evolution. I'm pro evidence. And we didn't evolve from monkeys. Monkeys evolved with us. It's just we happen to be very closely related.
Are you
So you
atheist
think-
or are you agnostic?
So how come there's no more evolution from monkey to man? And how can you date back 150 million years? And at the same time, is there any example in science that shows that something came from literally nothing?
We don't know whether it came from nothing or whether it came from something. That's the thing.
Exactly.
You're
No,
yeah,
and I get
but
that.
that's the thing though. That's the thing though. Like you, just because you don't know something doesn't mean you can create something, especially something that's supernatural that's never been demonstrated. If you want to talk about something that's never been demonstrated, the supernatural has never been demonstrated. So how do you explain that?
So here's something not supernatural. Every single observable thing that we have in our entire world has creation. So everything that we know of is created, or something has some kind of fundamental predecessor. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Kalam cosmological argument. Basically, what it says is that something that is basically, if there's something that's dependent, something that is reliant, something that it basically says that there has to be the exact opposite of everything that we observe. Everything that we basically observe is not permanent, right? Everything dies, everything is, I mean, I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or whatever it might be, but everything basically dies. Everything has a lifespan. So there has to be an opposite of that, right? And I'm definitely being simplistic with the argument that is the Kalam cosmological argument. But to think that something comes from nothing, in my opinion, is far less logical and far less scientific based on what we've been able to accomplish in science and observe in science than something coming from a creator.
Yeah. Sorry, Alex. I don't kind of mean to monopolize your show here. Is like, did you want
No,
to,
no, you can debate. Everybody's saying you're a troll, which is fine. I like trolls. I welcome trolls. But yeah, well, I'm interested to hear you and Saracen. So you believe we evolved, and Saracen is obviously doesn't believe we evolved. So ready, modern day debate 2.0. Go ahead, PTM.
No, but like, I mean, to address the troll thing, I mean, I don't really understand how I'd come off as a troll. I like your show. I agree with a lot of the things that you say. It's just that, I mean, like with the religion aspect, I disagree. So I don't see how I would be a troll. But
Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. That's just what they're saying in the chat. I guess I haven't seen enough evidence to make a good judgment on it. But go ahead. I mean, anybody that doesn't have the webcam on, even Saracen Bear right there, you got to be a little skeptical. But that's fine. That's fine. But look at Sagacious Bear. Sagacious Bear is wide open. I know he's not hiding anything. He's, you know what I mean. But go ahead.
That's not like me either.
I'm certifying to be an EMT right now, so like I don't know if I'd lose my job for that.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same situation as PTM where I can't really show my, I'm in the same situation.
I get it. You don't have to defend it. Okay, I want you two to fight. Have an internet fight. Now, ready, set, go. PTM. What's your deal? Sorry. Is it Saracen? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, like, I agree that it's, there's things that we don't know that, I mean, you can draw very wide speculations about it. I mean, back, thousands of years ago, people came up with different gods to represent different, like, natural phenomena, such as like thunder, tornadoes, and stuff like that to be gods. Mm-hmm. But when we figured out the explanation of those things, those religions quickly turned into superheroes. So, I mean, like, I agree. I really don't like quoting this guy because I don't think he's that smart. But I mean, I would agree with Neil deGrasse Tyson when he says like religion's an ever receding pocket of scientific ignorance. I guess
Religion is ever what? Sorry.
Religion is an ever receding pocket of scientific ignorance. Because I mean, like I said, we don't know where exactly 100%. I mean, science can't really prove anything 100%, but we don't know for certain to a scientific degree where we came from or where this universe came from. The best theory we have now is the Big Bang. Some people think, it's other different theories, but we can't really we can't adjust our standard of truth to match that of what theory we can come up with this. So, I mean, doesn't mean we result to a book that was created 2,000 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I totally understand where you're coming from. And here's where I would disagree on a number of points where one, and I don't mean this, personally, whatever, but I think that's a very religious argument and you're entitled to that view. And the reason I say religious is that, so Neil deGrasse Tyson, not only has he lied about a number of other points that he's made, for example, the globe being flat now, and prior to that, he said that it was pear-shaped. He says a lot of things that are inconsistent, but what's incorrect about what he's saying with regards to basically religion diminishing in the eye of scientific growth is that he's leaving out the golden era of Islam where Muslim scientists for at least 600 years were at the forefront, who doubled, by the way, the vast majority of them doubled as Islamic scholars, so religious Quran scholars, as well as scientific mathematicians. I mean, algebra comes from the term al-Jabr, who was the guy who founded it. I mean, there's a lot of mathematical concepts. For example, alcohol comes from the term al-Qahl, which means it was first used as like a medicinal antiseptic. The scientific method came from the Islamic Golden Era. I mean, a lot of these things came from religion, ironically, where people now think that, religion is holding back science because some guy from Saudi Arabia or the Vatican or other places will say things that are quote unquote, anti-observation rather than I would say anti-scientific, right? But the thing is, like when it comes to like the Big Bang, right? Now the Quran does say that God created the earth or created the universe and then tore it asunder. But still, what caused the Big Bang, right? So the issue I have is, what mainstream science is saying now. By mainstream science, there's a number of different, people who think of evolutionary science and the origin of the universe and things like that. But one current model that people like Lawrence Krauss and Richard Dawkins are quoting is this term random mutation. Right? Or like this kind of like random creation theory where things just happened. So it's like the likelihood of Alex Stein turning into a pink elephant right now is just as possible as everything that you see around you. And then you have theories like multiverse, right? So these are all, in my opinion, a little bit more outrageous than to say the universe was created, because every single thing that we can actually observe is created. Now there's unobservables that people claim, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, 6 billion miles away, there's a planet, right? Like all this stuff. Like there's a really good point that Nate Thompson brought up in the podcast that I saw, the Conspiracy Castle podcast that I saw yesterday, where Alex was showing Nate's debate on the flat Earth. And I work in data analytics. I've been in this field for a long time. I'm a computer science major and I did MIS. And what Nate said, now there's some things I don't agree with on Nate. I've had arguments with him on veganism and stuff. But the thing is, he's 100% right when he nailed his opponent in saying, that data that you got, where did you get it from and how can you trust it? Now, there's this field that we have in data science called the data integrity. It's like a subfield. It's something that you study called data integrity. And things like evolution, right? Like, for example, if you look at Darwin and then I forget his name, the guy who kind of co-created Darwinism. I
can't think of the guy you're thinking about. Yeah, his right hand man.
Alfred
he took it over after.
Is it Alfred something?
Anyway,
so Darwin had a back and forth with his belief in action and God, like not necessarily just the creation of the universe, but in his belief in God. And what ultimately got to him was the problem of evil, right? And the thing is, like the Big Bang Theory, I understand why people can have that view, but something you need to ask yourself is, what caused the Big Bang, right? Like, everything that we can ever observe that we've ever observed in science has some kind of starting point, some kind of push, right? So that's what I kind of have to push forward now. And I think Neil deGrasse Tyson, buddy, that guy's such a stupid liar. I mean, to give you an example of how he lied about science, he tried to talk about Ali Ghazali, who was a very famous Islamic scholar in mathematics and science, and he tried to kind of downplay him quite a bit. And he literally lied about him in saying that Ghazali was like anti-science. And that absolutely was, it's literally the
Thomas Huxley.
case.
Thomas Huxley was the guy's name.
Thomas Huxley, yeah. So basically there was a co-founder of Darwinism that wasn't included in Darwin's publishing of the Evolution of Species. And so the reason why he wasn't is he didn't want to put his name on it because he thought that it would push people towards atheism. So the thing is, no, the person who was going to who wrote basically 50% of Darwinism. But Neil deGrasse Tyson, dude, that guy he's a known liar. I can prove to you. I mean, it'll take me a little bit of time.
I said right before I quoted him that like I don't think he's that smart, because I don't think so. So I mean, I don't really like quoting people in general unless if it's unless if it's a scientist that says something that I claim they said, or if I'm quoting somebody in general. But what created the Big Bang? But because we don't have an answer to that question, and we still don't know everything about the universe, of course we don't. It doesn't give you the right to create an incredulous argument about God. Or like, are you a Christian?
No, I'm not a Christian.
You're not a Christian. What are you exactly?
So I'm actually a Muslim. I believe in the Quran.
Okay.
Now
so,
the difference between...
hang on. Can I finish my point?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So when you say we create things, everything that we know right now on this tiny speck of dirt hurtling through space, like that the only thing we know is the most on our planet. When you say we create things, nothing we create is supernatural. Everything that we've created is natural. So there has never been a display of magical phenomena. There's never been a display of anything supernatural. So there would have to be some sort of demonstration of that in order for someone to believe it reasonably. So I would like to hear your answer to that, so I can respond.
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. And here's my answer, because I've gotten that before. So in terms of supernatural, right now, assuming that God is supernatural, God for a lot of people is just another name for creator, right? Meaning that in science, now what I mean by we create, I don't just mean we create, I mean nature creates as well. And nature naturally creates things from a starting process. Like things like, for example, I'll give you an example in my own life. I'm growing plants right now in my garage, right? I have about like 9 full plants of greens, and those plants will grow on their own. They started as tiny seeds, and I water them and I take care of them and I provide light for them. And, all these things happen, and these things happen in nature as well. If I put them outside during summertime, it would just happen on its own, right? I mean, I'm in Seattle, it rains enough and there's enough sun. So my point is, it happens in nature too. It's not just us creating, but the term God isn't like this white bearded Trinity. I mean, at least in Islam, it's the one who created, right? The one who created everything. And the reason scientifically that makes more sense is that every single discovery that we have in science that works, every law has something that created something. There's an ignition, there's a beginning, right? So the thing is, to assume something just happened is less scientifically logical. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I found that's why I believe in a creator. I was an atheist for a long time, and I was also a communist at the same time. But that's the communist side's a different reason. But I was an atheist for years, and I had these questions. And I thought that people like Richard Dawkins were trying to do something right. Before you make fun of me, I don't think that anymore, obviously. But the thing is, in the world that we live in, not just what we create, but what nature creates, everything has a starting point. And so
that's just in nature, though. That's the thing where you're witnessing what happens on Earth. You're not witnessing what happens in the cosmos, and that's the. I mean, if I didn't tell you that a certain planet can rain glass sideways, would you assume that if you didn't have the ability to know about astrophysics, would you assume that a certain planet can rain glass sideways? I mean,
So-
like that doesn't seem like something that's plausible to someone who doesn't understand it.
So that's the thing though, is I actually don't believe that. So I'm actually, the reason I'm a flat earth, well, I won't say I'm necessarily a flat earther, but I'm not a spinning tilted ball believer who believes that we've seen all of these quote unquote millions of miles away planets and etc. The reason I don't believe their claims about this is, well, there's a number of reasons. One is the inconsistencies in the lies, but also I work in data. And what Nathan pointed out yesterday, one of his strongest points for me was pointing out that woman was not able to source and identify her what's it called, water balloon, I forget what it's called, like what was it, it's like a floating, it was like a satellite balloon or something. She wasn't able to actually go verify that data herself. She had to trust and that someone is telling her the truth and giving her the correct data in order to verify that. Every time you look at NASA and they say we saw this and they publish it on Yahoo, you're taking it on belief, right? Real, like one thing I also respect about Nathan Thompson is he does this shit himself. He goes out, he buys the cameras, he tests things, right? And this is something that brought me onto flat Earth, was like, okay, you know, I'm big in data integrity. It's one of the key success factors in my field. Flat earthers are big into data integrity. They're like, you know what? We're not going to ask Joe Schmo what he found. We're going to find it. We're going to put hundreds of videos on YouTube showing that there's no curvature for a certain amount of miles using Nikon P900 and P1000s. And they did that all over the world, in Palestine and Romania and Pakistan and in America and South America. So like, the thing is, like, no, I don't believe in a lot of these planetary claims that people have. You know, and this is another thing, is I think that believing in a creator is more scientific for the reason that I observe in science. I've studied quite a bit of science. I mean, I don't have a degree necessarily other than computer science, but I can observe in the world that everything has some initial cause, right? And that's why, yeah. So calling God an initial cause is not crazy to me, and it's not supernatural. It's following the logic, right?
So yeah, so here's, I mean, I would have to address, because you're saying like a lot of things. I'd have to address like all these things separate. But
okay, sorry, I gotta step out for 1 sec. I'm really sorry, but I'll be back in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
All right, that sounds good.
Sorry,
Hey,
Alex.
Yes.
Hey guys,
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Spence, welcome to the show. Spence, how are you doing this evening?
What's up, man? I'm great. How are you guys? Everybody sounds like we're doing pretty well. I just wanted to like build a bridge for a second. PTM, I don't know your name, but you sound like a pretty cool guy. But I just wanted to kind of like share a story. So like
before you I'm sorry, before you do that, could I ask Alex something really quick?
Yes.
Yeah, because you were talking still. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, Alex, have you ever seen the Felix Baumgartner jump from Red Bull?
Of course, yes.
So, like, I mean, did you see the Earth from that video?
Yes.
Does it look flat?
In the video?
Yeah, on the video.
Well, it's shot with a fisheye's lens. So, I mean, what is it? It's always going to look curved. And then if you look at it from inside the actual shot, you can see there's a video from inside the actual capsule, and it looks completely flat.
Can I see it? Wait, is there a way you can send that to me? Because I'm asking.
Yeah, you can go to Eric.
Yeah,
go to Eric
send
Dubé's channel. Go to Eric Dubé's channel and then look for his Red Bull jump video.
And look at the land below him. I think he's above Arizona or New Mexico, something like that. But if you just look at the land below him, you'd have to, you know, that land would have to take up like
half the
And
Earth.
even Neil deGrasse Tyson, and just Google Neil deGrasse Tyson, the ACL Music Festival. He's even talking about he's holding a model globe and saying that Felix Baumgartner is not even high enough to see the curve. So the curve that you're saying you see in that video, even space god himself says it's not there.
I'm asking. I'm not like making a positive claim or anything. I just want to hear what you think about it.
Yeah, but look at the footage from inside. You got to look at the footage from inside.
All right. Sorry about that.
Can somebody send him the video, and let me just, in the meantime, let me just say something.
Yeah.
So dude, like, just real quick about the whole kind of evolution thing, right? I was literally only a year ago, like, totally just with that idea. But it was weird because I talked to one of my friends one time, and I was like trying to be like all like fancy or whatever. And I said, I was like, what are we but sophisticated monkeys right now, bro? We're just sophisticated monkeys. Isn't that cool? But if you actually say that to somebody, when you say it and you look into somebody's eyes and you really say that, it's like, for me at least, something wasn't right about it. I was just like, does that really sound right? Like, it just didn't ring true, you know. And then I was like, wait, could that not be right or something? And I had already heard about other deceptions and everything, so that's what got me to like look into it. But I also wanted to say, like, nobody's trying to like change your mind overnight or anything with like one picture and stuff. Like, that would be ridiculous, you know. Like, it's a lot of these ideas sound super ridiculous at first, and and just by default, like, it took me a while to even think about stuff and like consider things. But if like, because you're interested even in just like looking at the Felix Baumgarten footage, I mean, that's a good step. Like, so that, you know, it's cool to like
Well,
look into stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah,
just
I mean,
I would say, oh yeah, go ahead.
oh yeah, personally, I mean, like, it's going to take a lot more than just a photo to change my mind. That's what I mean by an amalgamation of evidence. I mean, like, we have, I mean, not to go too deep into the flat Earth debate or whatever, because personally, I haven't done a lot of research on it. I'm not going to speak about something I'm ignorant about. So, I mean, like, but I mean, I was only inquiring on that because I know Alex is pretty passionate about that subject. But like, about what you were saying about evolution, though, I mean, but what you said there, it sort of has an emotional presupposition of like, I mean, that it seemed like that kind of affected you a little bit when you started like questioning evolution. You looked into somebody's eyes and you said that it didn't feel right. So when you look for evidence with that emotional presupposition, you're really
Yeah.
not, you may not find the right answer.
Yeah,
And
like, I'm not trying to say that that's any kind of evidence or anything. Like, I'm just saying, like, from my personal experience, I was kind of like, yeah, that doesn't really sound right. And then later, you know, a couple weeks later, I saw the creation and I was like, wow, there's some proof right there. And eventually, if you keep looking into the stuff, like, you'll probably find it as well.
well, yeah,
Uh, you
there's
know,
there's there's proof. There's proof. You know, and there's proof of Israel. There's proof of different land masses in the Bible. There's proof that male and female exist. I mean, there's different things. I'm not sure what proof you're talking. What proof are you talking about specifically?
all right. Well, so for me, I like was listening to all the flat Earth stuff, and I was like, this sounds kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, I'm not really sure if I could just think of anything to refute it right away. And so I didn't dismiss it, but it took me like another 6 months to just, like, I kind of put it on the back burner. You know what I mean? And then I started looking into it again after I said that to that guy, and I was like, huh, maybe I'm missing something. And what did it for me though was somebody brought up crepuscular rays. And if you're interested in looking up what that is, among about 1,000 other proofs, right? The crepuscular rays of the sun, you know, the sunlight like shines at different angles. It doesn't all come parallel into the atmosphere like it probably would, right? If it was 93 bajillion miles away, 93 million miles away, right? And
Yeah.
it's just like it doesn't come in parallel like that. And like, so I went down to the beach on that same afternoon and it was like the perfect conditions. It was like the clouds and everything were just such that there was like this massive crepuscular ray kind of action going on with the sun. And I was like, this is incredible. And I cried at first, but I was also really excited because I was like, damn, like that's literally, it's right there. It's here all the time. You can literally just look up into the sky and see it, you know? And so that's basically what did it for me.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, uh, a lot looking at things as complex as the topics we're discussing right now. Like, you know, if we were to watch like a surgeon do open heart surgery on somebody, like you may look simple, like what he's doing, like, you know, maybe he's doing an operation on like a coronary artery or something like that. But like, there's so many steps that go into it and so many intricate details about what he's doing that make it to where the layman can't understand it. Same, I would say, with the Earth or the cosmos. It's very complex. I'm not saying take the experts' opinions at face value. Of course, like doing your own research on it is important. But when you start, yeah, I think it's good to be skeptical of yourself. And when you start making these conclusions by yourself with like evidence that you're able to observe, I think it can get a little dangerous, if you know what I mean.
Sure. Do we want
Without the
to
expertise.
bring up a couple like images and like memes?
No,
type
we're not
things
going to
that-
have a debate. I'm tired of debating tonight. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, we just already
Yeah,
did a
that's fine.
debate. Yeah, you know
Maybe
what
Yeah.
I
like
mean? It's like,
basic. You asked about
I get it.
supernatural phenomenon. Just look at like the rice experiment. That I feel like that kind of speaks volumes.
Hey, Alex,
yes.
did you hear about T-Jump missing the debate?
Because he slept in.
Yeah,
I need to debate T-Jump again. I like
That was-
T-Jump.
that was funny as hell. He fell asleep on his lazy boy, bro.
You need to go on modern day debate.
Me?
Yes.
I will, but the thing is like I would like to kind of refurbish my knowledge on certain things. Maybe we can debate on modern day debate. That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe one day. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
How
Well,
did the
okay.
debate to go earlier?
I thought the debate went well. I mean, the guy wasn't very versed, I believe, in 9/11. I mean, a little bit. But, you know, it's like with any debate, I'm not going to convince him. It's just to convince the audience and see if they're going to look into it for themselves. So I actually enjoyed it. He was very cordial. He was very nice. So, like I said, I enjoyed the debate. It's like debating T-Jump. See, even though T-Jump, you'd think he's annoying, but because he's cordial, he's great to debate. You know what I mean? Just because
Yeah.
disagreeing's not a bad thing in a debate. That's the accepted position. So when you're actually calm and nice, it makes me feel calm and nicer. It doesn't trigger me as much, and I feel like I'm able to speak more clearly. And I have a trouble with mumbling and you know yelling and not actually putting together coherent sentences sometimes. So I like when it's not like this highly emotional debate and it's more just talking. So yes, tonight was good. I was happy. A little sad with the numbers. Modern day debate, the numbers were terrible. Maybe the subject's just so old, but I just couldn't believe there were so few people watching on that channel.
Well, Saturday afternoon, maybe.
Yeah, I know, but if
I
it's
got
like,
the notification, but I didn't open it until this one later.
yeah, well, it just seemed. I mean, I love his channel. I'm just surprised Saturday
The
night.
guy
it
was
didn't-
so boring.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I couldn't listen to the kid. I mean, like the kid just he was so monotone. I don't know. He was just boring.
Hey, well, let's say hi to Brian. Brian, welcome to the Conspiracy Castle. We haven't talked to you all night. Welcome. How are you doing? I'm happy you got the camera on. You're being transparent. So, what do you got for us this evening? Anything for us?
Well, it's Ginger Sugarbush actually, but
Oh, Ginger Sugarbush. Yes. What's up, brother?
I honestly I didn't watch it, so I got nothing other than I just want to. And you did mention it. Do your own research. That's the motto of the flat Earth. Don't trust a word we say. Look into it yourself with an open, honest heart, and you'll figure it out. If you just listen to whatever those, I'm trying not to swear, those people say, then you're going to be lost, because I'm so freaking depressed with the rest of my family. They're
Well, it's
all lost.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that because I'm actually beefing with a guy I work with that went and got his second round of vaccination, and he's fine, thank God. I'm just like, what I'm saying is this: is what we're arguing about. He comes into work like he's like this, like he's Conor McGregor. You know, he's like, well, I'm totally fine. You know, you didn't know what you're talking about, and so I do eat my crow a little bit. You know, but it's like all I want is for him to be okay. I just hate that we're gonna argue with people and they're never gonna believe a conspiracy theorist. So it's just, you know, accepting that people we're gonna blaze our own trail. Unfortunately, we're not gonna walk the same path as everybody else, and that path is not gonna be easy. And that's just the, you know, cross we have to bear.
Give it time, man. Who knows what's going to happen? This is not tested. Like, sure, he's fine now, and hopefully he's going to be fine. Don't get me wrong. It's just, we don't know what's going to happen. And I don't think it's going to be good.
What are you talking about? Like biblically? Like you think like
Well, no,
Armageddon
just
or apocalypse?
no, taking the prick.
Oh yes, yes, yes. The inoculation.
Oh,
Who
that's
knows
really
what's
long
gonna
time.
happen long down the road? I know that's what I'm saying. In my heart, I'm like, gosh, that's like the last thing I want to happen. This guy I've known my whole life. It just makes me sick to my stomach that potentially something could happen to him down the road. I don't even like to think about it. I want to have cognitive dissonance to that because I've given him so much warning. I think I warned him so much as I pushed the people in the wrong direction. And then now I'm seeing that clearly. And it's kind of a tough pill to swallow that you can actually push truth so hard that you push somebody away from it. So, it is what it is. It's a very delicate balance. And that's what, for me, I'm just going to take it as a learning lesson. And I'm not going to try to put my views, even though I go on a debate show and a debate, it's not my job to put my views on other people. I'm just trying to help them see my perspective. That's all I can do. Even though we did the debate, so it makes me a hypocrite, it's not my job to convince anybody of shit, for lack of a better word.
Well, no, but there's nothing wrong with trying to let people know, like planting seeds. Whatnot.
It's called yeah, but then we get to the point of where that's like involuntary virtue signaling, kind of where it's like, as a truther, I want to act like I am doing this, virtuous thing when really I say it's virtuous because I'm alienated from friends and family, but at the end of the day, it's not that virtuous, and I don't want to be a virtue signaler. So I don't want to like take credit, like, oh, I'm waking people up, which is a good thing. So that's double speak. People do need to be awake to truth, but I'm not doing it just to virtue signal like that. That makes me sick if I'm doing it just for that reason.
I wouldn't worry about the labels, honestly. I mean, just do what you do,
That's all I can do, I guess, is just try to entertain people. But that's why I try to do, be funny because there's not crap to watch on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some stuff, but I'm lacking for stuff to watch. So what I try to do is I try to create content that I would watch is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I laughed during your debates like so much. I don't know. It's like the one with T Jump just had me dying. Like I was literally dying during that one.
I need to debate T Jump again. We tell James that needs to have me. I don't know. I need to debate T Jump 100%. T Jump is awesome. Has he? Well, he's been on there a little more. Does he do? What does he do? Debates on his channel as well?
Yeah.
So is he doing more of those than Modern Day Debate? Because I feel like I feel like I didn't see him on there for a little bit.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
Please tell me you wear that into the stores.
I have, yeah.
Yes.
I'm going
It
out.
That's only cool. Do you ever wear it when you make love though? That's the real question.
Oh,
Have you ever
fuck
worn
no.
that? That's the ultimate role play, the chipmunk.
Oh my gosh.
It's a
Well, we have
swirl
to
thing.
know. We have to know. The people want to know. I don't want to know. That's disgusting. Don't tell me. I won't listen, but tell the audience they want to know.
It's a swirl, and that's a discussion for a whole nother time.
Well, that's a whole sexual orientation, the furry. I don't know much about the furries, but maybe somebody here knows about the furries. When they are in the furry...
Latex. Right there.
I know. Well,
What
the
state are
furry...
you in? What state are you in, Ginger Sugar Bush?
I'm in the state of Canada.
Oh, okay. I'm always looking for people in my area, I always gotta ask.
Oh boy.
Wait, Sagacious, where are you, dog?
Southwest Ohio.
Well, Ohio's a good state,
The
but what's
Nasty
it?
Natty. I'm in the Cincinnati Nasty Natty.
Oh, you're in the
River.
nasty. Oh, yes, you're my man. Oh, wait, the downtown, the river. Erica, the girl that was on my show not that long ago, she's in Cincinnati. You need to meet up. You need to date Erica. You know that girl that was on my show? She's single. She would go out with you.
I don't know. Not the girl that you just had on your show that was on that reality TV show you had on.
Yes, she lives in Cincinnati, dude.
Dude, I swear when I watched it, I was like, she looks familiar. But
She lives in Cincinnati and has an apartment downtown. Her dad has like a nice house in like the normal part of, like in a residential part. But she has an apartment downtown. Like I know that's where her parents live. She stayed there after her surgery. I mean, I've
that's
seen
pretty
her.
funny.
I've seen all of her Instagram.
But no,
yeah.
she was like super against your anti-mask statements. She was like, "You're the problem." And I was like,
And she's a social justice warrior. Who cares?
some diet woke subjects maybe, but that's about it. It sounded like. I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. A couple years, maybe. I don't know.
But what was I going to say? Gosh, I had a comment I was going to say.
If
after
anybody
that.
in Cincinnati, hit me up.
Well, you need to hang out with Erica. She is funny, dude. She's her dad is like a doctor, so she's as pro healthcare as it gets. The doctors are loving this. This is like the biggest boom for the medical industry they've ever seen. And like you look at all the billionaires in China, China had the biggest amount of billionaires gained in 2020. So it's just like 9/11. We can follow the money, and it's not always about money. It's about more than money. It's about power and control, and there's a lot of reasons why they want to, I guess, metaphorically keep us down. Well, so what are we doing here, guys? We got PTMs being nice. We got Spence. We got Saracens on hold. We got Ginger Sugar Bush. We got Sagacious Bear. Okay, of us here, who saw the debate? Did you watch it, Ginger? No,
Sorry, no.
no, that's no big deal.
Your
Sagacious, did you
9/11
watch?
debate.
Yeah, the
I
one we
watched
just
it.
did.
Man, I started to watch. I listened to his opening statement, and his opening statement was so dull and so like there's no substance to it, man. It was just like you said, it was a regurgitation of like a mainstream Wikipedia article. It was like he didn't even bring up anything good. I don't know. And so I knew I mean, I know the argument pretty much.
Backwards and forwards. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
don't
it's like,
blame you. Well, I saw PTM liked it. PTM. So we need to send an email to James. I need to go and debate T Jump. I'll send him an email. I got to debate. We got to do a T Jump rematch just for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the debate I saw today, I mean, I agree with what is your name again? Is it Bear?
Sagacious Bear.
Oh, Sagacious Bear, all right.
And don't
Yeah, I
feel bad.
agree with it was very dull. I mean, like I don't know, it seemed like somebody dared for him to like come on the show or something like that. Like it really seemed that way. Like he was agreeing with you with that, like virtually everything. I mean, he was saying like, yeah, I agree, but, and then he would say the opinion someone would have when they just can't accept what you're saying.
Dude,
So,
he lived in the woods. He lived under a rock. He literally lived in the woods. He's like, I'm just making a joke, but
Yeah, but it's probably better he lived in the woods. I mean, he's probably safer out there. He said he's a hunting and fishing guide. I'm kind of jealous. I'm like surrounded with all this electronics and all this shit, which I enjoy this. I'm not complaining, but it's just funny. The grass is always greener. Now that I live in a city, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'd love to be out in the country. And
yeah,
I'm sure
picture Alex in the Breakaway Society.
I'd be fucked. They'd be the first one to burn at the stake and eat me. But then I'm saying, once you get out in the country, you look at the city, you're like, oh man, I wish I was at the city, so I'd go to the mall and get me some tennis shoes. It's so weird the shit you miss. It's like a relationship. Once you first get out of a relationship, you're kind of sad and heartbroken. But like a year or two after it, when you don't hurt anymore, no matter how bad the relationship is, you kind of look at it with a little fondness. It's weird how you can put
That's
on the
true.
rose-colored glasses so easy.
Definitely true.
You're gonna have Alex with one of them big pouches of Dr. Pepper syrup hooked up to the well and the pump. Like, Alex, quit trying to make Dr. Pepper. Dude.
I'm gonna
build a fence with Owen and makes chickens and.
In the Breakaway Society, I'm fucked, dude. That's why. Well, hey, if we really want to talk about the Breakaway Society, this is how. I mean, I don't know this to be the case, but they talk about in the Georgia Guidestones release, reducing the population to 500 million, and you're like, well, how would they even do that? Well, the plan is supposedly that they have all these deep underground military bases or these deep underground lodging, and that they'll be like a chemical weapon or there'll be something that knock out all the humans. Like the idea of that sounds absurd, but it doesn't sound impossible. So that's where I'm at with that.
Well,
I don't
what
know
do they do at that point? I was just talking to my dad about this the other day. It's like, what do they? It feels like they kind of need us. Like they don't need money. They kind of need power over us. Really, it's like kind of like the Dark Crystal, the Skepsies. It's like if all the other people just died, they wouldn't have anything to live for. It's like the Dark Crystal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do we have to live for? Like I said,
I want to take the Jaren approach. I want to think that, but it could be right, dude. Like everybody's taking these vaccines, and what if, like you said, maybe somehow some crazy conspiracy, we're like, oh, everybody took the vaccine, boom, you got zapped by 5G or something crazy, and then everybody that's left is just all the conspiracy theorists. Then what do they do with all the conspiracy theorists?
Well, that's when they'll take us out. Who is saying something?
Well, they need us for slave labor.
Somebody's got to do their laundry and cook their food and sweep their floors. I'll
Like,
probably
don't you
be the
think
first.
All of us
I'll
would
be
rather fight to the death before we would do some elite scumbags laundry. You know what I mean?
No, I
Like
would
they
be the
find
he-
it out.
I would be the head laundry doer, and I would be the yeah. As a matter of fact, I would have no choice. I would be cook and clean and look at the cat life. No, I mean, it's funny you say that. Actually, that brings up a point. Is dude, if they did have like they say we're all domestic terrorists and we actually do have to fight against the United States government, dude, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go out on the street. I mean, I wouldn't want to die either. But I would never fight the U.S. military on U.S. military soil. That's just a battle that you would never win. So, like, the idea of a civil war to me seems so absurd. I just think that's like an impossibility. But maybe not. I guess you think people will be able to come together and fight against tyranny. I think we live in such a dumbed down society. Nobody even has the energy to get off their couch to go to a store. They all order off Amazon Prime. Like, we don't have a lot of fight left in us, sadly. We've just been emasculated.
You think we're past the point of saving?
Well, I think there'll always be humans here. I mean, there's always going to be humans, but it's like the collective consciousness of society is getting where we are so overly politically correct. This is like just a small thing. This just shows you how stupid the world is. And there's so many things like the House Bill 147 and all this stuff. But dude, they made the Washington Redskins change their name from the Redskins because that is racist. But
Yeah,
the
it's super
first,
retarded.
but I'm saying the first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl was Doug Williams in 1987 for the Washington Redskins. So the NFL Network can't show highlights of the first black quarterback ever winning a Super Bowl because there's an Indian logo on the side of his helmet. So where do we what like where is the line? We could either bring praise people for breaking racial barriers or we can just demonize people for making racial mistakes. And society is taking the latter. Instead, we're doing the cancel culture. There was a point in my life where America was about second chances. That is out the window. I haven't heard that term ever again. I mean, nobody ever says, oh, give him a second chance, give him a second chance. It is literally you tweeted something, you tweeted the N word 11 years ago when you were in middle school, canceled, you lose your job. So society is getting this cannibalistic mindset where how could we ever collectively how could we ever see evidence that we like each other when we go to the store at Walmart and we kick each other's ass over toilet paper? So I don't know. I mean, I just
I mean, that's from a society's perspective. If we're talking about politicians, they just use cancel culture as an outlet to control speech. I mean, and they use that as like, hey, look, this speech is dangerous, so therefore we should monitor other forms of speech, including some of the things you believe in. But from a society's perspective, yeah, that's they're just the constituency of the politicians that put those rules in place, those arbitrary rules.
Yeah, but those arbitrary rules are ruining people's lives, and that's the thing. Is society's not going to stop making arbitrary rules. It's going to be exactly like 1984, George Orwell. I mean, it's going to be like Brave New World. It's going to be an amalgamation of all these books. We're like so desensitized that when you go to the store, it won't even say white rice. It'll be like rice, non-rice. You know what I mean? Like that will be racist for it to be called. We'll be so desensitized. It won't even be able to call the white rice anymore.
That's actually completely opposite. Have you seen the new label?
Yeah, it's all white people. It's all white people. The white people didn't get canceled, but all the black people did, that is reverse racism. Is that what you're talking about?
No, so at supermarkets now, they're actually putting Asian-owned, Black-owned, LGBTQ-owned labels underneath all the products, so you know who you can support. It's insane. Is division. They want people to be as pissed off as they can at everyone else.
No, you're right. I've seen those labels saying, who owns it. And like, that's perfect for somebody that is an actual racist. So they know not to buy that food. So that's it's going to work backwards, but forget it.
There's a concert effect too.
Go ahead. I want to hear about the concert effect.
Okay. So just on the contrary side, I mean, like, there's a lot of ideas within communities that are, obviously, they're misguided and they're confused, and they say labels like white supremacy because they're trying to describe a small group of people, but they think like it's the amount of people is just so unfathomable, and they don't know who to go after, so they just use like expansive labels. And So my whole thing is like, you're gonna have to narrow it down a bit. But anyway, what people are saying though, the people who aren't like so off but still recognize like, hey, there's something that we need to do here. There's like some kind of a cultural problem within our culture, and like, that type of thing. The reasonable voices in the room kind of are saying like, we got to take our examples from like Jews, for example, right, where there's like a social aspect to it, and they have like, because people who are the voice of reason are saying like, the first thing that we could do every day is make economic choices. Like, so if you're gonna buy some food, it's like buy local, that whole idea, except now they're saying buy from black people if you're black, that type of thing. And that's totally divisive, but at the same time, like, I think that's where it's coming from, like the idea. But there is also a problem where there's a lot of black people who are like in this nobility class, and you can see it if you go to places like Miami and you go to a cigar lounge and you happen to be there on the night where it's like, the whole event from every fucking guy in the South. It's like a giant businessman, and they own all this stuff in South America and Central America, and all these, farms and stuff. Or you go to Texas and it's the same thing. But then there's also a bunch of, black people and other groups and whatnot who are in these cities and stuck and just have only ever seen that. So it's like, kind of, I don't know, I feel like one of my ideas that I've been thinking about over the last couple of days is like, we have to broaden their perspective in some way. Like, because there's people that are, with the whole reparations fight and everything, like there's people that are alive today who are under this delusion that like their grandfather was a slave in 1865. And it's like, it's not even possible, but that's literally what they say verbatim. It's just weird. And they're just so confused, and they get so, like, some of them get like super emotional, the ones who have only been trapped in these cities their whole life, type of thing, and just accepting welfare from the government and whatnot. And when you're in an environment like that, who knows how those people got there. We know it's not everybody in the population, but it's a good amount of them. And all they want is like, like, we hear what they want. They want to be able to do stuff and have land and be able to farm stuff, or at least maybe they don't. Maybe they just subconsciously they want that, but all they know to ask for is money, and like the only culprit is the United States government, which is a nameless dead entity. I mean, how are you going to get them to pay you? Like, that's just a word, so they don't know what to ask for. They don't know how to present themselves in any kind of they don't understand the law. They don't understand all that corporate stuff we're talking about, where like the United States of America has turned into a corporation, with Lincoln and everything. And it's just like, it's difficult to help them. But I mean, one of the things that we could do is have some kind of program where we can bring people and open the conversation for land reform and land redistribution, because there's so much fucking
land redistribution. What do you mean? Just give a bunch of free land? Because I don't want you taking my land. What the fuck, dude? What's going on, Spence?
Not redistribution. Just like, it doesn't have to be like that. And there's so much goddamn land that's
there is enough land. There's definitely enough land.
So it's like, we could at least maybe set up some kind of like something in Nevada or something, and show people how to do stuff, and so that at least they have that perspective, and you could opt into it and go, or if you want to stay in the city forever, that's fine, or what, but it's like, at least to give people the opportunity to have different perspectives, and then they can choose like whether they want to spend a majority of their time in a city, because a lot of people are attracted to that idea, or if they want to just be totally out in the country doing their own thing, but it's like, we have to do like this kind of outreach and come up with ideas. I don't know where I started that. I don't know what we were talking about before this, but whatever we were talking about just kind of made me think about that, because that's something I've been thinking about these last couple of days, because I've been on Clubhouse and there's just rooms just filled with Black people who are just like totally upset and pissed off, and it's like you don't know what to think. It's like they're
Okay, wait,
just,
real quick, Spence. You can tell the
yeah.
vibe, the Black people in those rooms, because Rose 777 said the same thing.
Well, they're not all like that. That's what's interesting. And what's weird is, like, I was in a room today and like this totally reasonable dude who is from like the Caribbean or something, but also American now. He came on and he was like, "Hey, you know, is this gonna is your whole reparations argument, just so I can get it right? Like, is that gonna include Caribbeans people? Because if we take the story of slavery from 1776 to 1865 to be like what it is, and that's not even right. They're under the assumption that all Black people in the United States were ancestors of slaves, and that's just not true, because we're finding all this evidence where there was so many indigenous tribes in California and Florida and all these places, Alaska, and it's just like, so, but they can't even get to that, because this lady was like, she just thought that this Caribbean guy was trying to include himself in and get free shit from part of their argument. And like, she got so emotional just from that. And that's not what he even said. And it's like, and then he only asked the question, he wasn't even trying to like make any kind of claim. And she just wouldn't hear anything past it. And I just listened to these people rant for like 30 minutes. It was weird, dude. It's like,
it's a public argument.
Is
really that why? Confused. Is that why it's so interesting? Because you're just saying like it's a debate. These people are just arguing publicly.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys want invites, I have 5 invites now. It's like you can like get engaged the more you're in rooms and stuff. And I haven't invited anybody, but if you guys want to join, I'll invite you.
Yeah, and I'm on Clubhouse, and it's interesting. I mean, I don't really particularly like it. I don't dislike it. I'm just indifferent to it. I mean, it's whatever. But if you guys want those invites, Spence, how can they connect with you? Because don't you have to have their phone number?
Yeah. How many people are watching?
Don't give out your phone number, but maybe in the chat. I don't know how do they find you, Spence?
If you want that, I'll just invite like the first 5 people, or if you like to send something nice, you can send it to SpencerGilbert21@gmail.com.
SpencerGilbert21@gmail.com. You guys send him if y'all want to get on Clubhouse app. If you get on there, you get a couple invites. So he has 5. For anybody that wants to get on Clubhouse and see what it is, he has 5 invites at SpencerGilbert21@gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you guys want to see, I wrote up a scientific method a couple of days ago. I was talking about this. If you want to do your experiments related to understanding the electric universe and the anomaly that we see with the lunar wave, you can do an electroplating experiment and see the exact same electric pulse wave phenomenon in between a cathode and an electrode and some kind of a conductive salt bridge when you're doing electroplating. So it's a super easy experiment. You got all the materials almost guaranteed in your house. Like, it's dumb easy. So you can send me
Spencer Gilbert 21 Sagacious. You were about to say something. What do you got, Sagacious?
I was just gonna ask Spence if he was the same Spence that called into Jaren's show. There was I don't know if I'm thinking of the same guy. Were you sitting in your car in front of like a Mormon place?
Yes, that's a famous call.
Okay, yeah. No, I just
he's the Mormon whistleblower. Spence, the Mormonism, that's kind of a unique thing. I mean, how deep did you get into that, Spence? Did you ever wear the underwear?
I'm still getting calls and talking to missionaries, and because I think that the best hope that we have in order to flip these institutions back to what they're supposed to be is from the inside. And so I'm trying to just plant some seeds. Nothing about flat earth. It's just about the history, because they're on board with the history. If you didn't know, the Latter-day Saints are the genealogists. They have all of the records of tons of stuff, and they know about the history. They have, and I'm just doing a deep dive into the works that have been preserved by the institution that a lot of the missionaries and people don't end up reading, but know about. and they know about this story of how 200 years ago there was an advanced civilization here in the Americas. That's like one thing they know for sure.
Wait, slow
And
down. That's the thing in Mormonism. 200 years ago, there was a more advanced civilization here on Earth.
yup, yeah, the first time I heard about that, I was like, wow, this totally lines up. So
Doing
yeah,
what though? With the advanced civilization, were they humans or were they some sort of like spiritual
yeah,
thing?
yeah. And if you look on Wikipedia at the Salt Lake Temple, which now we know to be, an older Tartarian building. The story's wrong, but my belief is that Brigham Young and these guys that first came out to the Salt Lake and all these places, they were like, holy shit, we have this info, and like we can't let, like, we need to develop an institution around this so that the message remains. And then at some point in the future, when the potential of society is there, then people who get this will be able to look in and see the truth. And in the meantime, we'll just have like a regular, basically, alternative Christian church where people can go and do the rituals and keep the church alive and protect the fucking buildings, and and the history. And so if you look into the Salt Lake Temple, which the first four Mormon temples were dedicated in the early like 1800s. They were found, they weren't built. And there's many temples that were built afterwards, but these ones were found and dedicated. And they were, I mean, these guys really represented the separatists, I believe, of what the Roman, Britannic, European, other kind of mantras were that were being run through the Vatican and the Catholic Church. And that's a whole different story. But
Well,
they
real
came
quick.
out here first,
So,
and so they found this stuff. So anyway, if you go to the Salt Lake City Temple on Wikipedia and look at the pictures, there's a painting there where it shows, Joseph Smith or one of these dudes in the suits, these European guys, but they're literally painted, like showing you this tribe of giants who was here, like these red-haired giants, and the picture's black and white. I had a colored one. I don't know where the hell it is because I was trying to find it again. But if you look on the inside of this church, which nobody can get in there, by the way, nobody can get into these temples unless you're baptized into the church. So that's another thing I'm going to slowly do, probably, and try to get them to make it like their idea and stuff. But I want to see in. And like I saw one picture and I think it got deleted from, because I can't find it again. But like there's sculptures in these buildings and stuff that are just magnificent. And it's clearly such an old structure. So there's some
so Mitt Romney. I didn't realize. So the idea of Mormonism, because that kind of makes sense, I guess, now with John Smith and the plates, like realizing that they're on a totally different timeline. And I know, like, the early Earth creation is just not in different religions, different timelines. But I didn't know that the that was a main belief that 200 years ago there was a different civilization here on Earth that
Yeah,
was.
they're aware of it. They know about, all these different states of America, which is what the Constitution, I mean, the Declaration is really about. If you read it, it's not the United States. United was lowercase. It's just, it was the states of America, and it's a huge thing. And then if you know about the Jesuits, how they had in Paraguay in like the 1700s, they made basically the Society of Jesus, this order from the Vatican that was another separatist group from what they knew to be this evil cabal started by Pope Alexander and all the Borgias and Cesare Borgia and all those guys who just started the papal armies and all that shit. They came out here to the South Americas and tried to, start a society. And Paraguay was the leading, power in South America because it was a landlocked state. It was separate from everything else. And you wouldn't think so, right? You would think it would be like a port city, but they had a tremendous, civilization there. Everybody was educated. There was 100% literacy rate. And then there was a triple alliance from three of the surrounding countries like Bolivia, Argentina, and like another one, Chile or something, Peru, whatever. And they all went in probably from this kind of Colombian idea whoever, I don't know, the British Empire, whatever we want to call these people, who were getting their orders from this Vatican cabal. And they came in and they totally fucking reset the whole country and killed everybody. And that's why when you look at those documents where it's got like the Tartary flag and all the other flags, I don't know if you guys have seen that image. You can find it on Google though, if you type in like Tartary flag and other flags of the 1700s or something. There's a bunch of them, and listed right at the top is the United States of America, and Paraguay is the first fucking one on the list. It's like, because they did it in order of prestigiousness, so.
So you're telling me
Interesting stuff.
Paraguay and these South American places used to be more prestigious because they were connected with the Mormon Church, is why?
How old are
No,
you?
they
Spence?
weren't connected to the Mormon Church. That was from the Jesuits. It was a different group.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, from the Catholic. Hey, but
Yeah.
tell me one more thing about this. So Mitt Romney, I know I keep going back to him. So he's as big as they come when they come to Mormonism. What about the opinion of the Mormons that are in Mexico that have multiple wives? Like, how does that? What is your opinion kind of on the multiple wives thing?
Well, the polygamy is a thing in Mexico. I didn't know that was exclusive to there. And that's also a common thing in Peru. I mean, I was talking to a dude a couple nights ago who was like, just like traveling dude. He was telling me about these Tibetan private cities up in like Odeon, California, that there's like made of crystals and shit. So I'm gonna go try and check that out. And he was telling me how he was like 16 and he went to Peru, and like their culture is way different because it was like savages basically, and they lived to like 34. And when he got there, they just like offered him a girl, like part of the tribe. So that's I think, I don't know if that's related to Mormonism. I don't know about all that, but in terms of Mitt Romney, I don't know is he Mormon? I don't know about all that either. I'm just saying, like, that's where you begin to see the kind of hijacking of or taking advantage of, an institution that has become lost in space. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, you're really deep tonight, Spence. Anybody else have anything that they want to say to that?
Dude, Spence, how old are you, brother?
Mid-20s. But it depends. Even that depends, right? Because how are we keeping track of that? It's not. We know we're not going around the sun anymore. So, like,
well, I mean, we can figure
okay.
out time.
Yeah.
The sun still goes around us, and it keeps a perfect clock.
Yeah, that's true.
Why? You think you're older or younger, Spence?
No, I'm just mid-20s.
Well,
exactly.
no. Well, it's funny you say that because, like, I always think
I don't want to put a spell, bro. I don't want to put a spell in the room anymore.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. I think you have to. I don't know if you can accidentally cast a spell. I think you have to cast a spell with intention, but I could be wrong.
It's so funny. Somebody literally just sent me an email about Mormon stuff. This guy said, "Hey, my drummer holds a priesthood with the LDS. He's been telling me a lot about the."
That guy was in the chat. Okay. Yeah, this guy's
I'll
in
read
the
that
chat.
in a second.
Yeah, and if you guys do want that Clubhouse invite, send an email, spencergilbert21@gmail.com, and that's going to give you access to Clubhouse, which is like a crazy place. How would you even describe it? Like, do you think there's people getting business done there? I mean, that's like the vibe. That's some business thing.
There's a lot of low-minded LA people, like, because when you think about it, you could basically destroy all the faith of a country just by hiring one big town to be actors and never bring them up in any kind of faith at all, and so I think that's really what LA is all about, and there's a lot of people like that. But I just have been listening and trying to absorb information because people are just so confused and coming from all different perspectives because of this news stuff where they just get the wrong info and then have assumptions about certain groups, and it's crazy because people are like really telling their full opinions though, but it's a crazy place. But there's also a lot of constructive rooms going on and a lot of thoughtful conversations, not as thoughtful as we can get here because people aren't ready for it. But I just been acting the kind of role of like being like just the cool vibey kind of dude. And then if people want to come into a room where we're getting a little more deep, then they can.
Is
Isn't Clubhouse iPhone exclusive?
is
I'm not
it?
sure.
I think it might be. That's kind of lame. It might be iPhone exclusive. That's kind of weird. But maybe they haven't developed it on the other side. Whatever. I'm sure that's the bullshit excuse. But I'm not saying Clubhouse is this necessarily a good place. But it's just interesting that it's this place for like civil discourse and people are like talking about Corona and shit. Like I mean, it's just kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, there's it's weird. Like everybody eventually like like if the topic gets to a point where people just can't handle it, then they'll just start talking about COVID. Like what the fuck, But then I just kind of like tune out usually. But most of the time though, I just try and spread like positive messages, and you know drop little hints every now and then. Because people, like I said, people aren't ready for everything all at once. So you have to like bring yourself to where people are and build a bridge from there. I'm getting good at bridge building, be an architect.
I'm
Everybody
getting better
has
at
a
putting them down.
Okay, guys. Okay, but I'm saying we're gonna wrap things up here in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So I want everybody to be able to get their points out because I gotta freaking hit the hay. I am. Everybody's saying I'm low energy. I am a little tired. But I'll be streaming tomorrow night, so you guys definitely don't worry. I won't be gone too long. But I'm sure we have some points. So let's go. I don't want to put anybody on the spot. Saracen Bear, I guess, left. Ginger Sugarbush, what do you got for us this evening?
Okay, I think what started this whole conversation was the labels at the store. So you want to bet that they're not going to put Bill Gates owns your friggin' food? Because that label's not going to be shown.
What do you mean? Oh, he's gonna have all the fake meat, and I don't eat meat anymore, so he's gonna fuck me over with all the fake shit he puts in that meat. I'm screwed. But what are you saying? People won't realize Bill Gates owns this? I mean, he basically runs the CDC, and people don't seem to care. They seem to like it. They seem to feel comfortable, and they seem to think that he's smarter than them because he was picked by the CIA to run the software side of IBM, and so he's as big a shill as they come.
Well, I'm just saying that they're going to put black-owned, Asian-owned, LGBTQ, whatever WTF owned it, but they're not going to put Bill Gates owned on those stupid labels.
No, but everybody kind of knows he owns our soul. I agree.
Bill Gates ain't shit.
I'm just saying.
He's got all the money he's got is in computers. You know what I mean?
No, he bought all the land.
Yeah,
He's
but
got
did he really? One guy can't defend stuff like that.
He can't defend it. No.
Yeah, but he can get the United Nations Army to defend it for him, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying that to be devil's advocate. I mean, dude, like I said, I don't think no matter how bad things get, I don't think there'll be a civil war in the streets. Maybe there'll be like some gunshots heard around the world type situation. There might be like a capital raid type situation in one place, an isolated incident happen. But dude, there's not going to be a gang of militias fighting the United States military on United States soil. That's like I am such a conspiratorial person. I can think of anything happening. That's like the last thing I could imagine happen. Because what are you going to do to a tank? You can have any sort of weapon. When a tank comes rolling down your street, it's going to be just like Fallujah, Iraq. You better run and hide, or you're probably going to be dead. But so what else you got for us, Ginger?
Well, Alex, you got to work on your Zulu impersonation.
For sure, yeah.
Things that would be much more difficult to give away. Anyway, I'll drop it there, guys.
All right, thank you, Ginger. Thank you for coming on. Okay, Sagacious Bear, what's happening with you, dude?
Well, speaking of the food, I just think it's really important that maybe we could try to. People in the truth community probably going to end up trying to manifest some sort of breakaway society. I think it's really important we try to think about that logistically, think about it logically, think about family, friends, building relationships. I really like the Baldini approach. If we focus on where you're going to put your cryptocurrency, if we're constantly focused on this materialistic, the beast system we already live in, we're not going to really make relationships and those building blocks we need necessary to kind of better ourselves. And maybe we can create our own little paradise, and like
You're
he
ready to
says,
go. Wait, Sagacious, you're ready to go. I don't
well,
blame
see,
you.
I'm young. I don't really have much to lose. I don't make a ton of money, so it's like I don't know, and I
You-
think I'm ready to do something.
Well, I'm saying, and also, I don't think you're money motivated. Like, I've never really been money motivated, even though I'm on the show e-begging all the time. I'm saying money. If somebody donated me $10,000 right now, I would go bananas, but it wouldn't solve any of my problems. I'm not like so like money hungry that I realize I know a lot of way richer people than me that are depressed, that were suicidal. So I realize money doesn't solve all issues. What's more important is finding something that makes you happy, or a hobby, or something that you're passionate about. So I see you. I respect you, Sagacious Bear, for wanting to do that and having the vigor to go out and wanted to change, your situation to where you have the breakaway society. But the problem is, I don't think I can go to the breakaway society for me because I got too much shit going on here right now. So I'm a little jealous of your situation.
Well, I mean, I got a lot going on. It's not like I could just drop everything tomorrow. I'd have to sell everything I got, and kind of, everybody worries about the unknown, so the unknown's always there. But I feel like, if somebody starts it, somebody has some land. Of course, I don't have any money to buy land, but if Owen's always putting together, or somebody's always putting together these little posts, like imagine if 10 people went in on this little plot of land, and if we keep focusing on stuff like that, I think it could really happen. If we see, like, look, if we see as a truth community somebody at least starting to try something like that, I think it's going to spark some more of those.
Well, yeah, look, there's a bunch of, they said in Georgia, there's like a black community that bought land and they're building, a black community. So, yeah, we do need to do that. We need to get out of the cities, but sadly, I'm a hypocrite when I say that because I'm right in the city. Like, I'm 4 miles from downtown from the migrant center that they're shipping in all these teen immigrants. And I'm not anti, immigration. I don't actually, I agree. I think we should be able to, take immigrants in. But
Yeah.
it just kind of sucks though that these guys, when they get here, they're not going to apply for jobs. More than likely, most of them, they're probably going to do other stuff to make money. And like, I'm in the car business, and I've just, God bless your soul, I've just had a lot of cars broken into. I've had a lot of issues with Dallas before more people came here without jobs. And so I don't want to sound insensitive to their plight. I can just see that there's a ticking time bomb, and especially as much time as I spend at Bachman Lake. I don't know if you guys watch my stuff, but all the public parks in Dallas are just more and more people with backpacks, and you can tell that they're not from here because they all have masks on, and like they're just wearing their masks like they'll go to jail if they don't have it on. You can just tell it's like, it's just a totally different vibe. And the changing landscape of our society is, I guess, shocking, and it's just something we have to accept, I guess.
Yeah, man. Yep. Picturing Alex Stein in the Breakaway Society. That's freaking hilarious. We got to make like a little short video or something like that.
Well, we need to. Well, our society now is we're just getting more, packed in like sardines. So eventually I do need to break away, but it's like easier said than done.
Of
Okay.
course.
Okay, PTM, don't go anywhere. What do you got for us this evening?
Yeah. Well, before I say what I have, like, I wanted to mention, you bring up depression a lot and stuff, and I would say that is really true. That when you get caught up in the cog machine, things can happen. I mean, I personally am on. I don't know if you know what Abilify is, but like,
Very, very familiar.
yeah, and like, I mean, I might kind of sound like a little discombobulated a little bit because this is around the time where I get kind of like dizzy or whatever from the side effects. But like, yeah, it's definitely true that when you get caught up in the machine, you kind of, and especially when you have reasonable intuitive abilities, or the ability to think outside of the flock, like you can definitely get I guess messed up by that. But I guess something I'd like, some few things I'd like to say would be, I think it's important to be like not only skeptical of the experts that were proclaimed experts, but also be skeptical of your own argument. That's a very important thing. I mean, when you fall into an incredulous way of thinking, and just because something doesn't make sense to you, I guess when you make up explanations that seem like common sense to you, that's something that you should look out for. I think it's really important to maintain a neutral position whenever you don't have an explanation to something, or your explanation isn't good enough. And I think it's important not to fall into socially constructed dichotomies because when you do so, there's a lot more variables that get attached to your opinions, such as social relationships with people that are inside that group, and also confirmation bias. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Well spoken, very educated, PTM. You definitely came here with, you're doing your research. You don't want to just speak out of your bottom, it sounds like. And I respect that. And I think you are spot on with saying it's like nobody should be stuck in their way so much so that when they're presented with the evidence that goes against their personal belief, they should be able to change their mind. But you're going to have people that are stuck in their ways. I mean, that's just how it is. And I think you're right. Like within the truth community, there's auto hoaxers. It goes too far sometimes, you know. Some people aren't exactly on the ball with their truth information sometimes. And I'm a victim of that. Everybody's a victim of that because you're going on information and you're speculating stuff. So when you're in a position to speculate, you're going to be wrong sometimes. There's no doubt about it. So we have to be able to be fluid in our position and be able to change. Because if we're not willing to change, then we're fake. Then we're just, speaking out of our ego and not actually making a critical thinking, decision. And instead, we're just self-preservation, and that's not good for anything. So I think that was very well spoken. Okay, Spence, what do you got for us before we end the stream?
Sure. Yeah, I'd just like to say if you guys are interested in helping with research and stuff, actually, let me preface that we were talking about some kind of breakaway civilization. And I think it's that kind of stuff. If we're trying to do something like that, it's rooted in technology, right? And there's a lot of antiquated technology that we're reverse engineering, and there's a lot of work being done. So if you're interested in researching and being on the team and helping, you can go to tartarynova.com. And there's a Discord link, there's a library link, there's an element link, there's a matrix link, and just come in and be a part of the conversation. That's run by Andreas Exertus. If you guys don't know who that is, he's a friend of mine, and he was just on San Tripoli I think it's available on Apple Podcasts, and they're gonna do the video version after they're able to make some money on it on Patreon and whatnot. So look out for that. And if you go to Andreas Exertus on YouTube, you'll see the prior interview. He's an excellent researcher, and yeah, that's at tartarynova.com.
And if you guys want a clubhouse invite, go to spencergilbert21@gmail.com. Spence, thank you for coming on. Hey, Josh, I saw you were in here. I wasn't going to let you on. What do you have for your closing thoughts for us this evening? You got the beard. You're on the lazy boy. You kind of got the T-jump impersonator.
T-jump vibe going.
Yeah. So what's happening with you, brother?
My bad for lighting and all that. I just moved and stuff, so it's all. I'll be real quick because I got to put my daughter to bed anyway. Just a quick side note about the Mormon thing. Joseph Smith's first wife was a widow, and 4 years before that, her husband died. It was actually Captain Morgan, the Captain Morgan who wrote that book and got his throat slit for exposing Freemasonry.
The guy from the Spice Rum?
Wow.
No, the real Captain Morgan, because he wrote a book, and I have the book. It's from 100 and something years ago. He exposed the inner workings of Freemasonry and got killed for it. And it actually created the anti-Freemasonic movement. And they had an actual political party called the Anti-Freemason Party.
I've heard about the anti-Freemason thing.
Had to go. That's why they had to go underground and create the Mormons. It was an undercover Freemason thing. But that's not why I was calling. Alex, you nailed it in that debate. You were very calm, collected, straight to the point, just totally shredded that dude who was kind of just an NPC. And the reason I was finishing with this was the whole Freemasonic thing, because you know how we know the top levels know more than the lower levels. It's compartmentalized and all that stuff. Well, they do a circumambulation ritual where even in the Blue Lodge, which it looks like that dude was probably just Blue Lodge, they do a circumambulation ritual where their right hand is facing the center of the what do you call it? The altar, and they mimic the path of the sun in a circle, right? Even in the Blue Lodge. And it goes back to the ancient Druids and the Greeks and all the Gnostics, all that stuff. They did the right hand path, which is following the path of the sun. So even a first, second, and third degree Freemason mimics the path of the sun. They practice that. So I thought it'd be interesting if I ever, the next time I speak to a Freemason or next time you do, bring up circumambulation if you look into it.
Well, I have his email. I'm gonna have him on the show. I'm gonna have him on the show again. So you got to come on, dude. Josh, you got to come on and talk to him because I'll send him an email. Well, he seems like a nice guy.
How old his grandmother is.
He'll know what I'm talking about because in Freemasonry, the West is the spiritual darkness, the mentality, and the East represents the sunrise and the spiritual light and the origin of consciousness. When they go into the lodge, a deacon takes them by the hand and walks them through the right-hand path. And the whole thing, they're either stupid or they understand that they're mimicking the path of the sun.
Well, it's probably a little bit of both, but I want to say this. So, hey, what do the North and South represent?
There's not really significance. There is
North South.
I would have to go back into Albert Pike's book, and it's been years since I read Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma.
Well, you're just really knowledgeable, so I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just more curious. I wonder. I'm sure you know North and but you know they have some weird meaning. I'm saying, yeah, of course, I respect that a lot. I'm just saying, you know, North and South probably have some sort of weird symbology. So East is the light and West is the dark. That makes sense. I mean, that makes sense.
And even the ancient Brahmin priests, they had the same ritual. They would say, I follow the course of the sun. And there's old poems and stuff in Greece and all that stuff. They go by way of the South to the West. They're mimicking the circular path of the sun straight up. There's no way around it.
Well, I know a little bit about rituals for fraternities and stuff. When they're doing this one, is it enough where they're like in weird clothes and it's like a ceremony, or is this pretty basic?
Well, they get hoodwinked and blindfolded. They enter the where is it? I think they enter in the lodge in the West, blindfolded and hoodwinked. The worshipful master sits to the east, where the junior and senior warden is. The deacon grabs you by your right hand and guides you around the altar. The deacon represents the God within you that's guiding you, because you're a God, basically. And in a lot of lodges, they'll recite Bible scriptures because you're the prophet that's interpreting the word of God.
Josh, you got to come on my show. You seem to be very knowledgeable. Well, when you want, you can come on the show, and I mean, I don't know how much you can talk about it. You probably have a family; you can only say so much. But you know, you're very knowledgeable in this stuff, and I'm very interested in all this Freemasonry and occultic. You know, it's very interesting.
Well, yeah, when I get a chance, I've done some videos. I have a tiny handful of subscribers and stuff because I rarely do videos. And
what's your channel? What's your channel? We shout it out.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, and what's your avatar? Something cool like Matrix or something?
It's probably Shadowban. You'd have to type in Mr. Anderson Eugenics Agenda. I did a 7-part series about a year and a half ago on the eugenics agenda.
Are you in Austin Witsid's chat usually? I feel like I see you in someone's chat.
I went as a guest on the Austin show a couple times.
Oh, that's probably where I've seen you. Yeah, well, you did.
I've seen Mr. Anderson in a bunch of different chats. I feel like you're around, right?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, dude, I absolutely know. Well, I don't know you, but I know who you are. Like,
okay.
Well, Mr. Anderson,
in the chats and all that stuff.
You're famous for exposing already. Okay, explain a little bit more though about the Freemasonry thing. Like he says, this is my question though. You don't have to give us insight. He says like he's a beginning lodge and like it sounds like he was into it. Like what is basically the beginning level of Freemasonry like? I mean, you know, like kind of give us an introduction to it if you can.
Well, it's what they call the lodge. It's the first 3 degrees. 3rd degree being Master Mason, and then after that you go on to either the York Rite or the Scottish Rite, which the Scottish Rite goes up to 33 degrees.
But I'm saying the Blue Lodge, are you in a totally different building once you get past the three?
It's just your typical lodge that's in your town is probably a Blue Lodge, first 3 degrees.
And then, but once you get past that lodge, you go to a totally different building. You know, you don't go to that little bullshit Blue Lodge.
And I don't, because I don't know Freemasons myself. I've just studied it. In literature, Albert Pike and Manly P. Hall and stuff like that. So I read literature to hear what they have to say, but
I know a pretty high up Freemason. He's actually kind of a good buddy of mine, and I know another low level Freemason. If you got any questions you want me to ask him, I could probably like sneak in and ask him. It was like
Yeah.
one day I went up to one of my buddies. I said, what is it like? How long you been traveling? And he's like, oh, he's like, are you a brother or something like that? And I was like, no. I was just like, I just kind of know some of your guys' little phrases.
That's the
Yeah,
phrase.
you
How
ask
long
them
have
if
you
they're
been?
a traveler, and if they say they are um, traveling from west to east, that's what I was talking about because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
darkness to the light.
So that's
Darkness
the
to
secret language. They go, "Are you a
the
traveler?"
sun.
I go, "Yeah, I'm traveling east to west, dog. I'm a traveler."
There's
When
there's
I
all
see
kinds of
one,
different little ones like that too.
Josh,
when
I
I
have a
see one, I
question.
ask them, "Do you know the widow's son?" And they get
Is there
really
any help?
excited, and I'm like, "No, no, I don't, but I know a little bit."
That's
But the
the
widow's
distress
son,
signal. Is there any help for the widow's son? Is what you're supposed to say if you're
is there
like
help?
in danger or something. Yeah.
And that's what Joseph Smith did before that group of people threw him out the window and killed him. He tried to do the Masonic signal of distress, but it didn't work.
Yeah. Do you know what that book was with regards to Captain Morgan and all that?
I think it's called. I forgot. I got it. I just have a lot of my stuff in storage still, my bookcases and my books and everything. But I have that book. I can't remember what it's called. It might be called Illustrations of Freemasonry or something.
Huh?
And so Joseph Smith though married a woman that had a husband previously. I'm surprised. So that's if is that true, Smith? I mean, I believe you. I just
I
he
haven't looked into that, but
w-
that's pretty like that logically fits, I guess. The only thing is that I was under the impression that the Freemasons like might have been infiltrated by some evil group, but whoever started it wanted there to be this commitment to the truth regardless. And so what you do is you would create an institution that preserves the symbology and have ranking systems and stuff. And then because it makes sense with Scotland and Ireland, those places, you're talking about a Scottish rite, whatever that is. But we know that those islands were the site of the Phoenicians and the Atlanteans and all that stuff. So it's that that I guess that makes sense. But if they were infiltrated or something or taken over by some evil group or something, then there would be another kind of separatist group, I guess, and then they would have. I don't know. I'm trying to think of it as I'm learning that, but yeah, I'll look into that book for sure.
But when you're talking about infiltration of Freemasons, there were some sporadic Mason lodges in Europe and all that, and they did get infiltrated by the Illuminati. Adam Weishaupt, a Russian Jew, as we all know, and he consolidated the Freemason lodges. Because in his book, where he's codenamed Spartacus, if you read that from 1797 or whatever, there's somebody that went to go consolidate the lodges, but Adam Smith was already there doing it. So once he illuminated the lodges, a lot of their literature talks about illuminated this, illuminated that ever since then. So even though they were disbanded 9 years later, the Illuminati carried on through the Masonic lodges. That was the Illuminati after that, then the Martinists and all that. But the core of Freemasonry is the Kabbalah. There's no way around that.
Kabbalah.
Yeah. Their overarching concept is to rebuild Solomon's temple. That's what's taught in the lodge.
Okay.
They say it's just allegory, though.
And that's a really Russian Jewish thing to want to do, I guess, right?
that makes sense. All right, well, enough of
Yes.
that. But hey, well, one thing I want to say: Adam Weishaupt and Adam
we're
Smith.
in the realm of speculation, but yeah.
No. But so explain though. Adam Weishaupt was the one that all the forefathers loved. So Adam Smith came after Adam Weishaupt. What was that? What were you saying about that? Again,
way after. Joseph Smith was.
I know Joseph Smith. Okay, I mean I got confused. So Adam Weishaupt. How is his? Wouldn't they be after Joseph Smith? How is the timeline of Joseph Smith and Adam Weishaupt?
He said if a group infiltrated the Freemasons, and I was saying that they were already infiltrated way before that with the Illuminati. Is basically what I was saying.
Who was the Illuminati? Like the enlightened ones, the Society of Jesus, like Ignatius Loyola and the Jesuits, or who?
Well, that's funny you bring that up because that was the Illuminati before the Illuminati, right? So Joseph Smith, fucking Ignatius was a Spanish Marrano Jew who created the Society of Jesus. He went and prayed to the Black Virgin Montserrat, which was Asherah, for 3 days and all that stuff. But that was the secret society of the Vatican, and the people wanted the swamp drain. They got tired of it, right? And they kept telling the Pope and the kings to ban the Jesuits, and they would never do it. Then finally, I think it was Pope Clement the 14th or something, who finally said, okay, I'm going to drain the swamp and end the Jesuits in 1773. Then in 1776, the Illuminati was created, and he went to all those high-level Jesuits and put them right back in power. So it was the same power structure and the same players even. And just a few years later, resurrected as the Illuminated Freemasons. So it's the same difference. It's the same hand, if you will, guiding it. There's been thousands of secret societies. There's just different modalities and different reasons for them at different points in time. Like there's a secret society of foresters. Like there's different reasons for stuff at different points in time. But yeah, that's changed.
Well, Mr. Anderson, you got to come on. We're really going to dive deep into it. But,
yeah,
listen,
it's getting late.
It is getting late, but there is a huge connection with, Freemasonry and what's going on now and how they had to go underground in 1776. Listen, people don't want to get into it, but that's the topic I really want to have you on. So I got to send you a message or like maybe comment on the video after it's done. And then I'll send you a YouTube message or I'll send you, I'll get your contact on YouTube. But is there anything else? I'm about to end the stream. We're here at 2 hours. I want to give you the final word. What do you got for us, Mr. Anderson? We'll drop some more gravy before you go.
No, I'll just leave it at that for now because I got to put my daughter to sleep because I'll end up going because I can
forever.
Hours. So I'll end up.
I know. We got to have you on.
The way I'll end it is in my opinion, there was a reversal of the occult, right? Because looking in these teachings by Pythagoras and then Albert Pike and Manly P. Hall, because Freemasonry worships the whole lineage supposedly going back to Pythagoreans and then before that to Babylon and Nimrod. There was a reversal of the occult. The esoteric special boys practiced a spherical earth, while the supposed profane believed in a flat earth. And then that got reversed. In my opinion, my speculation is when around 500 years ago, when they got the technology to see that it's not a sphere, they needed to have their special boy knowledge still, so they reversed the occult. Then esoteric became flat earth, and the profane public believed in sphere earth.
Wow, pretty deep. All right. Anything else anybody wants to say before we go? Is any last words? Sagacious Bear, you look like you might have something to say.
I was just eager to thank you very much for having us on. It was a pleasure, and I hope we can do it again. I know everybody had a lot to say, so yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do this again. This is awesome.
No doubt about it. You guys can come on anytime. And so what about you, Ginger Sugarbush? What do you got to say before I kick you off?
Well, it makes perfect sense that everything's in reverse because that's the way they operate.
It's inverted in the reverse, or we're upside down. I mean, they tell us that we're upside down, underneath us, 25,000 miles away. So, I think everything is a little bit inverted, especially now where men can identify as a woman and compete against them in high school sports. That's just, I would have never thought that was like a real thing that could actually happen. Like, I just thought sports were going to be fair. If we had anything, I love the cat. We got cats. I just thought if anything would be left in society, like no matter how bad it got, I thought maybe high school football, high school baseball team, high school gymnastics team, whatever, was always going to be a safe space. I mean, there's bullying and stuff, but I just always thought maybe children's sports would be good for character building. Now it looks like they've infected that. So we can't have anything, dude. They don't let us have anything nice. We ruin it. But I love you guys. I'm about to end it. Thank you all for being here, guys. You guys all crushed it. I'll talk to you soon. Talk to you soon.
Peace out.
Peace, guys.
Work on your Zulu.
I'm going to work on the Zulu for sure. All right, see y'all. Oh, what a stream, guys. That is it. What a stream. I got to say thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you guys for being here. It is the Primetime 99 Alex Stein Show. And I'm sorry if I was a little low energy. I just had a long day. Like I said, I did a hat trick. I did the spin class. I did the 6-mile debate. And then I did an after show. And like I said, I love doing this. You know, sometimes when I'm on the show, I act like I want to get off. It's not that I want to get off. It's just that, like, I can sit here and talk to Mr. Anderson for 4 hours, but I got a cat. I'm actually tired. I want to give you guys a decent show. Tomorrow we'll be going live. Like I said, we're trying to build the patron up. We got a couple people join tonight. If you guys want to see the Too Hot for TV patron-only stream March 31st, please, the link is in the description. You can join the patrons-only stream for $1. That's going to give you access to the 8-hour stream on March 31st. I'm going to be going from 4 p.m. to midnight, and I'm going to be dropping all the stuff we are not allowed to say on YouTube, whatever, Facebook. Sorry. It's going to be a pretty aggressive stream. I can tell you that much. So if you guys got the mental fortitude and you got the cojones, y'all need to join that patron for $1, and I'm about to blow your freaking mind. And I know you might say that I'm, bluffing, but you're going to have to see it to believe it. That's all I can say. Thank you to my competitor tonight. Thank you for Modern Day Debate for having me on. Thank you for all the callers that came in and were guests this evening. Like I said, this show wouldn't be possible without you. This is a show for us, by us, like the athletic wear FUBU. So I just want to say thank y'all very much. This will be uploaded to the Apple Podcast. So if you guys want to follow Conspiracy Castle on Apple Podcasts, please go give it a 5-star review or a 1-star review. I don't care, but Conspiracy Castle in your Apple Podcast on your Spotify. And don't forget, patron only stream. Enough e-begging. Thank y'all for watching. Guys, get some rest. Take care of yourself. Life's tough, okay? Don't beat yourself up too much. Peace.